We're here with the Unknown Pro. I have Tuli with me today. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just out here in the 93-degree weather in Southern California, which you're also in Southern California, right? How is the weather down there?
I was washing my car earlier and I poured Windex on the glass and just evaporated immediately. So doing great.
Good. That's earlier before we started recording when my the water turned back on, and it was a puddle. It was huge. It dried about 45 seconds after it. It was a pond, and now it's gone. Well, I'm super excited to talk to you. I feel like we have only really crossed paths a few times where we've been able to really say hi, but the more I see of you on, social media, and the more I hear people talk about how much they love you, I just feel like we have so much in common and we have a lot of similar kind of thought processes. So I'm just really excited to dig into some stuff here with you.
Me too. Let's go.
Let's do it. So first and foremost, we have to highlight just how awesome you are. So I'm going to just read a few little bullet points about you here. So you in college, you started at San Diego State. You played there for 2 years. You were freshman of the year for the conference, and then pitcher of the year also for the conference. And then you transferred. You were 3 years at Arizona because you had to redshirt because NCAA rules at the time. In your 2 years playing with them, you were two-time All Pac-12, and you were all defense for the conference as well, two-time. Oh, yay! Getting the rundown here of mom. Oh my God, look at these guys. They don't even care. They're like, what's up, man? So you were an All-American as a senior in 2017, which is the year that you graduated as well. After college, you made Team USA 2017, 2018. You were with them. And since then, you began playing for Team Mexico in 2019 to now. During all that time, you were signed with the Bandits. So you've been with the Bandits since 2017. And you just recently signed with Athletes Unlimited, which is going to be in its first season coming this fall. So yeah, that pretty much is the bullet points. And you won a gold medal in 2018 at World Championships. That's also kind of, just a minor detail. But yeah, so super, first of all, amazing bio. Like I didn't even get into all the different things you did as physically as a pitcher. But also really interesting. You've had a very diverse kind of career so far. So first, I would love to hear about your decision to go to San Diego State out of high school. How did you come to that decision? What was it about the school? How'd that go for you?
I was very early in high school, and I was actually verbaled to another school in the Pac. And then a couple months into that, I learned that they decided to go a different direction. So my little brother, who I have 4 younger siblings, and I love all of them, but like my younger brother and I were like this. He was 4 at the time, I think. And he was just my absolutely everything. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go a little closer to home. I want to be able to see him. My grandparents can come to the game still. So I decided to go there. And I don't know, Stacy Newman caught me one time before I had gone there. I think it might have been on my official or something. It was legal. I just don't remember where it was, but I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. Right. So that kind of pushed me a little bit too, but yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I think that's an important decision to make, being around your family, especially. How far is that from where you were, your childhood home?
It's just 2 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. So that's nothing. I mean, you do that. You can drive there for the day, come back home, no big deal.
And then, sometimes if my brother didn't have school or like a 3-day weekend, I would pick him up in Temecula. My mom we'd go halfway and I'd pick him up for the weekend, or we'd go to SeaWorld or the beach, or it was just me and him. So it's cool.
Is he your youngest of all your siblings?
Yeah, he is the baby. Wow. He is 14 now.
Wow. Gosh, that's probably crazy for you.
I know.
God.
His voice is changing.
Oh,
and
no, you hate to see it.
You hate to see it. And he's doing push-ups, and he likes girls. He's got armpit hair. I mean, the whole thing.
Gross. It's just Dang it. Can't they
Yeah.
stay so small for so long?
I know.
Well, that's cool. So when did the thoughts kind of come in to transfer? Like, how did it come about that you decided, okay, this is my conclusion with San Diego State?
I had no issues softball related there.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff was socially,
Mm,
academically, I was struggling, and I'm not like ashamed at all to say it.
yeah.
But I was going through a lot there, and it was just didn't feel like it was a place for me anymore. And honestly, I didn't care if I played softball or not.
Wow.
I was at the point where I was like, I just want to leave. I just want to go somewhere else. So and of course I wanted to play, but I just didn't know if I was going to.
Yeah.
So when I decided to transfer, I had done it a little bit later than I should have, I think. And that is part of the reason why the head coach decided not to allow me to.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're relieved
So
anyway.
so after that, I just decided, I was like, you know what, it's okay. I'm just gonna go. I went through the whole appeal process and I got denied.
Wow.
Which honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened to me that I did not play.
Really? You think it gave
Yeah.
you a chance to kind of catch up mentally, emotionally?
I mean, I learned so much in my first year. I can't imagine playing that first year. I think I would be worse for it.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I learned so much. I learned how to be I learned from important people. I learned from, I mean, the greatest coach of all time,
Yeah.
coaches. And, we had Caitlin, she's still there, but Kate, and I learned so much. I'm so
Wow.
grateful. Holy crap. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So that was so you enrolled in school. So you were obviously at Arizona just without playing. Were you practicing?
No, so what happened? Oh, wait, yeah, continue.
No, you continue. I don't want to make sure that I have this kind of transition year.
Yes, I was enrolled in school. I did everything. So I didn't even know Arizona was actually my last phone call that I
Wow.
got. I had a few, I don't know how the word got out, but I just said I was transferring and I decided I was going to leave. And then I just got some very nice phone calls
Wow.
and I felt like, are you kidding me? Like I had some people calling and I was like, I don't believe any of this.
Wow.
So I actually, because I got a call from Patty Gasso and I had saved her phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And then, on my very last phone call, like I took a trip to Georgia. Lou Champer, the head coach there,
Mm-hmm.
she actually coached my mom in college.
No way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lou changed my diaper.
Wow. Oh my God.
So she's awesome, but it was honestly, I would have loved to go there. And then I ended up getting a phone call from another Oklahoma number, and I was like, who's calling me from Oklahoma? And I answered it, and he was like, hey, this is Mike Kendrea. And I was like, oh my God, like, are you kidding? Like, I'm sitting in my room, just like my face is, I ran. I was like, is anybody home? And I'm like running in the house, like looking for somebody to tell that I'm on the phone with Mike Kendrea. And it was like unreal. Like, it was the most, and you know what? I got in his car, he's driving me around campus, and when people are like, when you know, and it happened. Like, we're driving around a parking garage, which is cherry, and then like you see the intramural soccer field, and then you see like the middle, and I just started crying.
Oh my
I'm sitting in my Kendria's car, like on the window, like crying.
God. Look at me.
Yeah, I'm like, but I just knew, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Wow. Oh my God, what a story.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's so great. So you got to Arizona. You knew you weren't going to be able to play because you weren't released, right? That's how it worked out.
Yeah.
So okay, so
I was completely ineligible, so I was allowed to practice, but I wasn't allowed to travel.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so like when they went to Palm Springs, and this was before Flow Softball did Palm Springs, I had to listen to it on a podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to listen to our games on a podcast. I'm sitting in my room like freaking like this.
Trying to picture it happening.
Yeah. I'm like, oh God, no. Yeah.
Wow. And then at home games, were you allowed to be in the dugout, or did you have to watch in the stands?
Nope. I was allowed to be in the dugout. I was not allowed to be in uniform. So all the pictures and stuff was me and whatever I wanted to wear because I was the only one.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
God, so That's actually, I mean, as much as you probably wanted to be a part of it, taking that year to just adjust and become a part of the program without
Mm-hmm.
playing yet, that
Mm-hmm.
might have maybe made you more comfortable than anything.
Yeah, I definitely, and I went through some physical changes too. I got injured that year also.
Oh,
Um, and then I mean, I don't know what happened, but I mean, I could guess, but
yeah.
it gave me the opportunity to get stronger. You know, we had this thing called the bod pod.
Oh
It
yeah.
basically, the body fat stuff.
Yeah.
I trimmed down like all like I I had the opportunity to do a lot of things that I don't think I would have been able to. So I was definitely ready for that my super junior year.
The Super Junior. That's, oh man, that's so cool. And I guess this is just kind of like a related topic, but how do you feel now, now that it's a lot easier to transfer, with the transfer portal and everything? You obviously knew you weren't going to be able to play. They weren't releasing you. You weren't going to be able to play the next year. How do you think about it now? Because you really had to think about that, you know. And what does the transfer portal mean to you now, that since you came from that?
I mean, I have had mixed feelings about it since it came out. I think that from my understanding, which I'm not 100% sure, I just know that the player doesn't have to tell the coach they're transferring. They just have to go upstairs and say, "Hey, I'm transferring," and then you get put in the portal.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's what I
obviously,
understand from it too.
yeah. So it's like, um, okay, that's a little different.
Yeah.
I had to walk into the office
Yeah.
and with all the, but everyone's different. So, there's that. And then, there's the other thing where you do get the opportunity to go to a school that you enjoy, but the other side is, are you transferring for like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it takes a lot of the thought process out of it, especially because if you enter the transfer portal and you don't get picked up, you could still be at your school without even them really knowing, in a way.
Yeah. So
That,
the coaches will know. So that's the thing. The coaches get
oh, okay.
notified. But
Uh-huh.
what can happen is if you are on scholarship, and you decide to go with the transfer portal and like nobody takes you, the coach has the opportunity to change your scholarship.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah, that's,
At least that's from what I understood. I could be wrong, but I think.
yeah, no, it is still a little bit fuzzy because it is so different from what, how it was when we
Yeah.
were in school.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
just don't, it's like there's I don't want to be here because I'm not playing, or I don't want to be here because I don't enjoy being here. I'm not, for some people, that's simultaneous. For others, it's different.
right.
Everyone's different. Can't really judge people on their decisions, but it is definitely just different. That's all I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is different. And God, you just see it more, the transferring now. So like my first thought is, I wonder if it was the way that it was, would we see as many transfers? Like, are this many people unhappy so often? I guess um, it makes me curious, but how are you going to know? You can't know.
I don't know. Definitely more transfers now, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is. It's a wild ride out there. But yeah, I think that's such a cool story. And I think what's cool too is the first thing you said was that there was nothing against a softball program. It was the other part of your life. And that's something I think people don't take into consideration and realize a lot when making the decision to go to school, or when they're at school, is that it's not just about the softball. There's so much more that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
And school, if you're not eligible, you don't play. So
Yeah. And the thing is, you have to be in the right place. Like, I was not doing well academically at state
mhm,
because of me, not because of the lack of whatever, because they gave you everything there, like every other Division I school. It
right.
was my fault because I was struggling socially. I was not doing what I needed to be doing. So then when I was put in an environment that I I loved and it was just different, I was a 4.0 student.
Oh my God,
Like
that's awesome. And it's all the moving parts have to be working together for you to be doing well in all of those moving parts.
yeah.
I think that's cool. What a what a story, what a college career. And then from college, you went and you made Team USA in 2017. How did that feel for you? Was that something that you wanted as a kid? What was that USA like for you?
It's something, playing internationally was something that and specifically for USA, was something that I had dreamed of for a very long time. Like so long. I think the very first, I mean, I grew up going to everything. I grew up going to Palm Springs. I grew up going to UCLA games. Like I was such a big UCLA fan. You know, I was just such a big softball fan that when I didn't even think playing internationally, like on the USA team, I didn't think any of that was kind of possible.
Yeah.
And then when I got an invitation, I'm sitting there with who was my boyfriend, now husband.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like, are you kidding? He's like, you're doing it. And I'm like, okay. But it was really, I'm really glad that I experienced it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think that I love hearing about people who are just such a softball fan, because I relate to that so much, because if I could fill my day the whole time I'm awake with something softball related, it's a good day, you know?
Right.
So I think that's really just what a thing to feel, not only being invited, but then making it, you know, where you're like, wow, this is a dream come true. I get to go to a camp. And then you're like, oh my God, I get to wear the uniform now.
Yeah. I was at my mom's, because the tryouts are always like January 1st. So my husband and I were at my mom's, what's it called? The night before. Because they fly you out of, I think it was LAX.
Yeah.
And that's obviously closer, but
yeah.
Yeah, I just remember. So then we flew back there, and then because our car was there, and then we drove, and then I'm sitting there on the couch with my bowl of cereal.
Of course.
I'm sitting there on the couch, and I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be coming, refresh, and all of a sudden I'm just crying, and my mom's like, oh, it's okay, and then my husband's like, what happened? And I'm like, I made it. Yeah. So I think that opportunity opened up so many more doors for me. My time at Arizona and then making that team, it definitely kind of threw me in another direction that I didn't know was there.
It's cool, because looking back on it now, you can see how all of that happened. But while you were going through it, you're probably like, okay, like, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like everything is like really new and cool and fresh. And then all of a sudden I look and I'm like, I have a book.
Yeah. Oh my God. I did all that. Oh my, when? Jeez. I remember my mom came to help me start packing up my dorm my senior year of college. And I had a mental breakdown. I didn't have any cereal, unfortunately, but we were in Target because I needed bin. Snot crying. Just, what am I going to do with my life? And then the next week I got the invite, and I said, okay, well, at least I can play softball for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But that's relatable. So you played 2 years with USA, and then come 2019, you didn't make the team. They went different, direction for their pitching staff. How did Mexico happen?
The coach for Mexico actually called me in 2012.
No, wow.
I was getting phone calls from him for a while.
Wow. How old were you in 2012?
2012 was my freshman year of college.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a while. He told me the opportunity was always there, but I answered the phone. I was currently playing with the Bandits because, professional softball, I wasn't in the international stage anymore.
Right.
And then he was like, do you want to play? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, I took some I slept on it for like a long time. And I just decided that would be the right move. So I went through that process, and I wanted to be on the team. There are multiple reasons, but one of them was that I wanted to be on the team to qualify, because Mexico was not qualified for the Olympics yet. So that was happening in August, September, and I joined in July. June, but our first tournament was in the beginning of July.
Right. Because I remember seeing you there, and you had a Mexico shirt on, but with no number, and that would, and seeing you there in Georgia.
Yeah.
So that would have been your first tournament?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually wasn't cleared with the WBSC yet because another country was fighting my transfer. But it was funny because I'm taking ground balls. Tori Vidalis is hitting me ground balls, and it took a bad hop, and it hit me in my pitching thumb, and I lost my thumb.
You did not.
Not my thumb. I lost my thumbnail. Like it was complete.
Oh.
I had to pitch later. I had to pitch one day later, I think, on July 4th or 5th, I think. And I had to pitch in Japan with my thumbnail like half off. I took I named him Nubby, and like I took a video of like every day of him growing.
Okay, now that you say that, now I 100% remember it because I followed along his story.
Right.
Oh my God, what a start to playing with Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So what was it like? Because obviously your very first tournament, you're at a tournament that USA is also at. Was that hard for you after making that decision to then join Mexico?
That was very difficult for me. My teammates now, I obviously same situation, like kind of know each other, but like haven't really like gotten to connect. Everyone kind of knows who I am, and like I know who everybody else is, but like we're not really friends yet. So like I felt, I want to say like alone, but like we were playing USA and we were like standing on the line to do the national anthem, and the USA national anthem played, and I was crying. Like there's probably a video out there of me of crying because it hurt. Like it was seeing all my friends on the other side over there, and then knowing that there's probably some not liking me going around. Not just assuming. I'm just
right.
Yeah, it was just definitely it hit me hard. But then we're playing, and it's just a game, and right. I know it's important, and it is more than a game, but like I had to break it down in my, like, to be mentally okay for that day. I had to break it down and go, it's just a game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I know how I feel when I see USA, and my last year with them was 2016, and I remember even playing in Georgia, playing against them, it still made me feel like
it's a little weird, but you know what, I kind of got past all that, and
here you are.
My teammates we're fun. We're fun. We're so weird.
Hey, you know what? Whatever makes it work. And I mean, I hear from the girls that I know that you play with on Mexico, all I hear about is how much you guys play for each other. So that probably is not that the other teams that you've been on maybe didn't play for each other, but that probably feels good being part of that dynamic now.
Yeah, I mean, USA, I have friends there. It felt like a family. Like we were I don't know. It was such an experience, and I'm so glad that I got to enjoy it. With Mexico, I definitely have a little more in common with some of the girls, and I honestly think that's because of our background.
Interesting.
Like it's so different. Mexican culture is, it's just like your family is just different than like someone who's not like Hispanic. Right. So when I get to like see that, I'm like, oh my God, me too. Like me too. There's a lot of me too going around. So then it's very different because, I just wish I could explain it, but it's just the culture.
Yeah, no, I think that like my mom's side is Jewish, and so there's habits and things and words that we say that when I meet someone else who is raised Jewish, I think, oh my God, you guys do that too?
Yeah, your mom's Catholic and super strict. Mine too. Like
that's, man, that bonds you as as people, but then also as teammates. You're like we're bred of the same cloth.
Mm-hmm. It's, yeah, it's definitely, that's what it is.
That I think that that's so cool. And that's something I wanted to ask you too, is, wondering about backlash about, well, you're born and raised in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, born and raised in America. So if you're not playing for USA, should you be playing for another country? But when you talk about that, and about the Mexican culture, and about I mean, you're Mexican, so Mexico is a part of you.
Yeah.
In the
I
same.
think it's weird for some people who don't, like, I'm born and raised here. My grandparents are born and raised here. So when you meet people like me, or, any of my other teammates whose parents weren't born here, whose grandparents weren't born here, whose great grandparents weren't born here, like,
Right.
it is different. So it's hard for people who don't have that like self experience to, like, look on and say, like, okay, I understand. So, like, I do understand how people feel that way. um it's, a lot of countries do it. There's a ton of countries,
Yeah.
especially in the softball world, but there are a ton of countries who have players from
Yeah.
wherever. And I mean, we on the Michael Jordan, the what's it called,
The last
the
name.
Michael Jordan, yeah. So, like, you had that guy go there, but he came and played in the United States. So, and it's the NBA, it's the NBA league, and I know that's different than playing, like, internationally
Right.
on the stage we're at, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it happens. People go wherever they want to go.
People will find a way to compete. That's, for the most part, that's kind of what it comes down to, is want to play ball, I'm going to find a way to play ball. And the fact that it's not like in 2019, after USA, it's not like you were like scrambling thinking, okay, well, what can I do, how can I do this, it's, they had been calling you since you were a teenager. So it's something that was, like you said, always going to be there. But
Yeah, I never looked at it like that. Like, honestly, like, I didn't think he was gonna call me. Like,
oh yeah,
it was never gonna, I would never thought at any point, like, if I don't make this, I can go here. Like, never ever crossed my mind, because
yeah,
I just didn't think that was an option.
yeah.
So,
And then it, like we were just saying, is like this everything kind of happened
yeah,
in
it
succession.
was a total surprise. I was like, wow, you're calling me.
Right.
Oh, like,
Oh yeah, interesting.
whoa.
And you know what, you wish that it could be like a movie, and you could replay a decision that you made to see how your life would play out, because who knows, if you had joined Team Mexico in 2012, who knows if you'd be here now, who knows what would have happened differently,
Mm-hmm.
so you're here now, you're going to go to the Olympics, you helped that team qualify, and to be continued.
Right.
um Sorry if you can hear the gardening going on. It's
I
rough.
can't. I
Oh, you
cannot.
can't? Cool.
No, I
Cool.
cannot.
Because I want to like record these in like a more studio style thing, but my husband's working from home, my stepmom's working, there's a dog, and so I come outside.
I can't hear it. There's
Okay.
gardening people outside. I don't think you can hear them
I
either. So,
cannot. Wow, this is great. Okay, good. Anyway, back to
quiet weed whacker.
beautiful. Um, so switching gears a little bit from softball to more of like just who you are as a person, I feel like I can relate to so many things that you put on Twitter and on Instagram, because you seem like a very passionate person. Is that how you would describe yourself?
Yes, I feel like
Awesome.
I'm very opinionated, and I am outspoken when it comes to things that I feel strongly about.
Yeah.
I'm what's called, I didn't know this, I think it's called an ambivert. I'm introverted and extroverted.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called.
I
But,
want to do
like,
a Google.
I'm I'm introverted. I'm such an introvert. My husband and I are homebodies. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything.
Oh my
But
God.
then if you do get me out in that, I'm the first one to just, like, be
Yeah.
weird and, like, rock it. Like, it's fine. So it just kind of depends.
That's so interesting. I'm definitely going to do a Google on that later, because it sounds like what a good mix.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called ambivert.
Okay, that's going to help the Google. So that's exactly the way that I would explain it, is that, and I feel like opinionated has a negative connotation, that word.
A little bit. Yeah.
But when you believe in something strongly, you come out, and this is how I feel about it, and that's nothing but good things. So you're super, super big on like women equality in
Yes.
sport.
Big.
And obviously I don't have to ask the question of where does that come from, but how do you keep fighting the good fight?
I know that everything we're fighting for is not going to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
That right there is what pushes me, because if we don't do it, if I don't do it, then my daughter is not going to, she's going to have to do it. And I don't want her to have to.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart to think that there are people in this world who disagree, and it's, I mean, honestly, and that's the thing about being opinionated. It's like my husband always told me, like, if you're going to be as opinionated with whatever it is, make sure you're not being ignorant about it. Make sure you're caught up, you're knowledgeable. So that's the other thing. It's like, yes, anyone can have a strong opinion, but like, are you right? Like, are you fact checking? Like, do you understand what's actually going on? Because like, I got into this stupid little fight about the Little League World Series with some dude. I don't even remember what it was, but I was so fired up about it because he was saying that the baseball World Series is like way, I don't remember what it was, but I was like, do you know like what you're talking about? Like, and it just infuriates me. So that's fine.
Yeah, it's a lot of people I've realized are out there just to poke the bear, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
And to be fair, I can be one of those people if I want to like ignite, if I want to like start a fight. I'll just be like,
I know
oh, does that hurt? Right there. So
hey, sometimes you get in the fighting mood, you know?
you know what? I can't do that because my husband, he sees it. He's like, why did you do this? Like, why do you start fights with people? You're giving them validation. And I'm over here like,
you're like, no, let me tell them how it is. Oh my God. God, our husbands should hang out because Kevin's always like, why does it matter that they said that? Like, it just does.
it just does. Okay. It's out there forever now. And now everyone's going to see it. And it's just, and he's over here like, why are you doing this? I'm like, just leave me alone. Okay. I tweet him at work or not home so he can't pay attention to me.
Yes. You got to time it out. That's, you know, I think that you put it really well because I've thought about, you know, if I have a daughter one day, I want to encourage her to play softball because look at what it brought, you know, like anything, right? Like, I don't want to say, you know what, maybe softball isn't a good route because you're not going to be able to make a career out of it. Or, you know what I mean? Like those thoughts cross my mind. Or even people being pregnant now and finding out if it's a girl or boy. I hope it's a boy so that they can play professional sports. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? Like, just a sidebar, both of my parents who are divorced, I asked them separately, and both of my parents told me that the best surprise you'll ever have in your entire life is not knowing the gender of your baby.
Wow. That's cool. Cause I mean, no expectations at that point.
Well, it's not, it's just, they said that it's the most genuine surprise you'll ever have in your entire life is that when it comes out, you're like, oh my God, instead of like knowing, like my mom had 5 of us and she did not know.
Oh my gosh.
My dad knew for my little brother, but because I don't remember why, I think it was accidental, but he kept it from her. So it's like,
that's so cool.
But they both said that it is the most genuine surprise. So I don't want to do a gender reveal. I don't, it's like, it doesn't matter as long as it's healthy. It's
oh my God. I love that. I was Matthew up until I came out, as
my mom thought it was a boy. I was going to be, my grandpa's name is Dennis. So my middle name is Denise. So I was either going to be Dennis or I don't remember, but she thought I was going to be a boy for like, I know you're a boy. I'm like,
oh my God,
you're wrong, lady.
Yeah, good try. Oh man, I think that's really sweet. Now I'm gonna have to keep that in mind if in the next 10 to 20 years I do decide to procreate, not find out. But yeah, I think that that's a really cool way to look at it because it's very positive versus saying the same thing of it's probably not going to happen in our lifetime and that being a reason to not fight for it.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make sense. It's like, you know what, it could happen, but it's really probably not possible. We are like, women are breaking down, you know, barriers all over the place. You know, even in the bigger stuff other than sports. Like, I know that sports is important and equal pay is important, but like, we're playing sport. We're asking to be paid for something we love to do. And with something that we're really freaking good at, just like the boys are.
Right.
But there are like other important stuff, like women being able to drive, women being able to vote. Like, there's just more important stuff. So it's like, I feel like if I'm gonna fight about this, it's fine. It's not. Yeah.
Right. And in the same way that we were talking about, you know, your journey to where you are now, in your path, is that women in the same way, it's like, okay, I get to do this, and then I get to do this, and then I get to do, it's almost like we don't know what we can do until we get to do it.
Yep. Until there's somebody that just says like, yes,
screw this.
Go right ahead. You have free passage. I'm like, well, thank you. And then I got to fight the next guy. So
it's funny too, because anytime I hear, you know, if they do a spotlight on a baseball player, obviously, because it's, you know, very similar sports, is, you know, he goes out and he lifts weights at this hour, and then he goes and he swings the bat, and then, you know, he's careful about his nutrition, and he says all these things, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I do that.
We do that. Yeah.
Describe my day.
Yeah.
But I live at my dad's, so that's the difference. He's going home to his mansion. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's like,
it's I think that from the inside, it's because we know what we do.
And it's also infuriating when a guy makes more in like one pitch than I do my whole summer.
Right.
It's like,
oh, that's cool.
Why? I do it better than you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you could swing and I could throw it underneath you and you'd still make more money than me. Like,
dang it. I don't know who created this equation, but I feel like they should have tried it again.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really cool thing to see, you know, when you do decide on Twitter, if you do, you know, go back at somebody who has said something to you that's incorrect or that's mean or something like that, it's nice to see, because I think people are afraid, especially I think females might be afraid because they don't want to think, oh, she's being emotional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The best thing to happen in sports recently is Sabrina in women's basketball.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. She's taken over the world.
She is doing it, and she's going to be, the fact that her relationship with Kobe Bryant, who I love Kobe, my husband loves Kobe. I have a fat picture of Kobe in my garage.
Oh my God.
It's humongous. It's the size of a table.
Oh my God.
But the fact that her and him were so close in terms of like their relationship and growing the game and the WNBA, like that was so important, and I need other NBA players to step up and do it. Right. Because growing the WNBA is only going to help everyone.
Oh yeah. Oh
so, my God. And wow. You know what? ESPN posts about her, and then you go and read the comments. I don't know why I read the comments. But you go and do it, and I just want to I want to throw my head in a bucket and just.
Yep. Get me out of here. Throw the phone across the room. That's I saw a video. Yeah, I saw a video of Alex Morgan who was just ready to pop, pregnant, you know, working out and doing what she could, and I made the mistake. I
did too. I did too.
Reading the comments, and I'm just like, why? Go give your mom a hug or tell her that this is how you speak.
Right? Exactly. Like, I say that all the time. Like, would you treat your mom this way, or like your sister? Like, would you expect her to get paid less? Like, or or go make a sandwich. That's the worst one.
Oh, I know. But I saw. Oh my God. Okay.
I make great sandwiches, though. I really do.
You got to take pride in a sandwich, okay? Like male or female, but you're going to love this. I saw on Twitter the other day, it's like, I don't understand why guys are asking if women can cook, or if that, like, can you build a house? Or, you know, can you fix my car? Can you do all these things? Like, then get out of here with your dinner requests, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Exactly.
Go build me something then if you want to make a dinner.
Yeah.
I think it comes from a good place, and it's important, and it needs to be done. But my other favorite thing that you're passionate about is animals. Like, oh God, I love that, because they're voiceless. You know, women, we have voices and we can use them, but animals, they are just like.
Okay, my goal in life is, as soon as, you know, my husband's going back to school, but as soon as he's done and we're settled and like I want a bigger yard. I want to take in senior cats, senior dogs, and I want to
And
help them live out the rest of their life happy, because it breaks my heart to see anything without love, anything without a home. Like, I live and breathe for my pets, and I've had everything. I've had dogs, cats, rats, turtles, shrimp. I mean, I did. My shrimp, I bought listen to this. I bought a shrimp from the pet store because I had a aquarium. I bought a red cherry shrimp is what they're called. They're literally the smallest things. And all of a sudden I'm looking in there and I'm like, what is happening? My shrimp had babies.
oh my God.
100 little shrimp babies in my, I'm like, oh my God. And my turtles are in there. So
Oh
my
my
turtles are feasting on the shrimp baby.
God.
I'm like scooping. I'm like, oh my God. Like, of course I picked the one in there that had babies in there.
Oh my God. And then you had to see the whole circle of life happen.
Yeah. Well, that happened. I had a Dalmatian Molly, and I put it in a separate feeder because she was pregnant and just huge belly. My two turtles, who were smaller at the time, they were just red-eared sliders. They're just very basic. They're about this big. And my sister calls me crying, and I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, the turtles ate the fish. And like, just you see in like she's Dalmatian skin, like her little scales are like everywhere. Like they just destroyed her.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah.
So I've experienced, and I had geckos, I had cockroaches. I mean, I've had everything.
Has that been since you were a kid?
Yes, I've been so weird. I had frogs and lizards. I just go pick up a frog from the front yard and like go put it in my tank, just like you're mine now. Like,
Oh my God.
I came home once and my lid of my tank was lifted and I just had frogs in there, but I'm like, I had like 12 frogs and they were all gone. And I look and they're all over my walls.
Oh my God.
I was like, my mom's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had a turtle, small turtle. He got out and I was like, I don't know where he is, but he lived under my bed for like 2 weeks.
Oh my
Just
God.
like, he's alive, but just so dry.
What? What a wild ride it must be at your house.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. I think
my cats kill spiders, flies. I mean, they're really active.
I remember my mom telling me, back in the day when I was little, we used to go to, I don't think they still do this, but they would bring animals over for like a birthday party kind of thing. And
I never had that, but that would be cool.
Oh yeah, I know. But it was one of those things where if I look at it, like I would go to other kids' birthday parties that were like this. They weren't ever mine. But looking back on it, I know, I'm like, damn, Mom, can you just bring a pony over? Like, what's the big deal? But looking at it now, I would think, oh my God, this is horribly sad for these animals. Mm-hmm. But my mom told me that when I was like 5 years old, I would be crying at these parties because the kids were so rough with the animals. Mm-hmm. They'd be like hurling them over the rabbits over their shoulder. And I'm like, stop it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been like this my whole life. I just, I had a bunny. It was eaten by a coyote.
Oh.
I had a dog eaten by a coyote.
Oh my God.
I cry. I watch videos of like just the dodo, just turn immediate tears. But anything with like a dog or like a cat or just anything that just requires, even sometimes like, what was I watching the other day? Like a snake maybe? I don't remember what it was. I found outside in my backyard. I'm looking and I'm like, what is that? And it is a what's it called? When the body rigor mortis. It was a squirrel. It was a squirrel with rigor mortis, and I picked it up and I started crying. It was just dead, frozen squirrel, and I wanted to bury it, and my husband's like, "Don't bury it, just throw it away." I'm like, "You were just."
Oh my God! Wow, that's traumatic. I had a batting cage. Actually, it was up right back here. And I walk out one day to start getting ready to go start my lessons, and there was a bird, and it had gotten stuck, and it had hung itself.
Oh God!
Cage, and I needed a moment.
Yeah, birds are the worst, and then also because my grandma had an avocado tree, and birds love nesting there.
Uh-huh.
And every time season comes around where they make eggs, there's always one on the ground, and I'm sitting there like, my grandma's like, "Mija, don't touch it." I'm like, "Sorry."
Oh my God.
I just want to pick it up and touch it. She's like, "Don't touch it." I'm like,
I'll nurse it back to health. It's
yeah,
fine.
I'll help it. And grandma's like, "Don't." So
Don't do it. Dang it. Wow. I mean, I think it's a cool combination that you're so fiery and so passionate, but then also this other side, you're just like so compassionate of like, I need to love
soft. I'm
everything.
so soft.
That's so funny because watching you play and competing against you, last thing I would think is she's soft.
Yeah, that you would never know.
Absolutely the last thing. But I think that your whole career has been such a cool thing to follow. And I mean, it's crazy that you were in college, you were with a program for 2 years and then with a program for 3, and then in international with a program for 2, and then now you're on your second year with, I mean, it's kind of a full circle kind of thing, or you think?
It's a little, yeah. Sometimes I think like, I don't, it's just kind of crazy how like the time works, and then
Yeah.
I have heard people who are like, well, because I switched, but because decided to, I didn't make the team, and then I decided to, what people call switch. Um, it's also because I transferred. It's like, oh my gosh, like you guys are putting these things together, but really this is like life. Like,
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
yeah,
because and I mean, I think back, or I think to, I don't know, not a lot of people know this. Obviously, I'm going to talk about this at some point, but I asked for my release after my junior year of college at LMU, and going in there at 20, that was the hardest thing that I had to do.
yep,
And you were even younger, a year younger, and you had to go in there and tell and say, look,
yeah,
I'm leaving whether you release me or not. And
yeah,
that probably prepared you for a lot more that you were going to
yeah.
experience through life.
So I actually wanted to leave my freshman year.
Oh,
And I didn't, because both of my parents had told me, like, you know what, it's your freshman year, just try again. And it, again, wasn't the softball thing. I went through so much socially. I can't even like explain to you what happened. And then
yeah.
my sophomore year, after everything ended, after we went to the regional, um, we had our exit meetings, and I had said, I plan on coming back, because at the time, again, remember how old I am. I'm 19.
Right.
Um, and I had just met my husband in
Oh,
the beginning of season.
wow.
So we were like not even dating like 6 months, and I'm like, you know what? Like I can stay. Like I kind of like it here. It's fine, Like I like the softball, but like, and I'm close to home, and he's here, and it just, And then 2 weeks later, I'm sitting here, and I just woke up one morning. I was like, I can't do it.
Wow.
I can't do it. So I told him, and I was like, I'm leaving. He's like, okay, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. So I think that's part of the reason why she did not let me go. I'm not sure if it would have been different if I had come out with it earlier, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then here you are. It's like I said before, like so cheesy when I think about saying everything happens for a reason. But like you said, there's things when and you've experienced that. And that's a cheesy thing to say, is when but there's a reason that it's a saying, is because it's real. And getting to where you are now wouldn't have happened had not everything else happened before it.
Yep,
So
totally.
I'm really excited to see what you guys do, what Team Mexico can do with the team that you're a part of, and the way that it's grown over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to take the time to sit and chat about about the life, especially the animals. We could have probably done an hour just strictly on that.
Yeah, I have so many stories. Yeah.
I could only imagine. But yeah, I think I love that you're a voice a voice for softball players, but a voice for, you know, for women, for being strong and having all these different parts of yourself. I think that that's really, really cool and something to be celebrated instead of somebody be like, oh my God, she's like, you talk about how you're weird and this is a positive, like, oh my God, Julie, yeah, she's totally weird. But like,
you can literally ask anyone and she'd be like, oh yeah, she's weird.
oh
Like
my God,
that's,
I will.
I guarantee you, like 80% of the time, that's like the first thing that's going to come out of their mouth is, oh yeah, Tully's weird.
I love, and then it's celebrated. I
I
just
mean,
think
it is what it is. It's just, I'm definitely weird, but
that before we go, is one, like, this leads me to a question of, did you ever want to not be like that? Did you ever feel like you had to be different or more normal?
a lot throughout high school, junior high and high school.
Uh-huh.
I've always been just this very weird person. I've just been
Yeah.
super, I can't describe it, but like people are like, oh, she's a little odd. It's like yeah, but like it's cool.
Yeah,
Like
cool kind.
I never embraced this side until I got to college.
Wow.
I did not embrace any of it throughout junior high or high school. I did not have a great high school experience. It's just like I feel so free when like I'm just being me. So like the fact that I didn't even experience any of this until I got to college, and even then, like even during college, like I didn't find like real me for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I'm this person. Like, you know, like I was crazy cat lady before I had cats.
Now it just matches up.
Right. And I'm like, I was like this before I had cats, and now that I have cats, I'm a whole person. Like
Oh,
now it makes sense.
here we are.
So yeah. So I definitely feel, I understand when people come to me and they're like, I'm not, you know, I feel you. I understand how you're feeling. Like I feel bad that you feel that way, because like you should embrace every part of you, because
Yeah.
it's just, it's who you are. It's important. And we all grow up at some point and we all grow in our personality and our characteristics, but the you inside won't change. It just gets older.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's perfect. I mean, that was perfectly put. And I think that that's great. And embracing the good parts of you, all the parts of you, make you into a full person and who you are and why people love you, you know? So I think that's
People
great.
judge a lot, especially when they hear I've had a rat and cockroaches, but
Dude, rats and mice are cool. They have little people hands and
they're so cute. Her
they
name was
hold stuff.
Sweet Pea, and they're just like, she would like cuddle like right here. She was really sweet, but my dad made me, I went home for a break or for summer or whenever, and I was living with my parents still. And she nibbled on my brother's ear
Uh-oh.
and drew a little bit of blood. And my dad was like, see ya.
Yeah.
So I didn't just let her go. I took her to a shelter.
Good.
I was like, call me if someone adopts her, please.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's, you know, I always try to think about, you know, why let someone make you feel bad about the things that make you feel good? Like, and people can, but if you hold tight to what you feel like, wait, this is making me happy. Like this cockroach, I love it. I'm happy. Boom.
Well,
Done.
the cockroaches were for my geckos.
Oh, they were food.
Yes, I had a roach hotel.
That's great.
Yeah, I had about maybe 100.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
they lived in my garage in a tub.
Wow. God,
Yeah.
the layers, just the things that I feel like learning.
I'm an onion.
You're like the jumbo onions too. Not a green onion,
Yeah.
like a jumbo. That's great.
Yeah. No. People are so grossed out when they find out I had roaches, but it's like they weren't cockroaches, they were dubia roaches. So they're
Oh.
not as gross, but they are gross.
On the scale of gross, they're not at a 10, but they're
No, they're like a 6.
that's, you know, that's harmless.
Yeah, they're really, they're not fun to look at, but they are tasty for the geckos.
Yeah, and circle of life, man.
It is what it
Well,
is.
thank you so much for talking to me. And I mean, good luck with everything. I hope that, you know, if coronavirus is handled, we can, you know, be together in August with Athletes Unlimited, and get to experience each other in person and let the weird, oh my God, nice. Mine's inside. I just had green tea, iced green tea though, because it's 95 degrees. But I would love to see our weird worlds combine and form just a weird universe. I think we need to make it happen. So, good luck with everything. Have, you know, fun with your animals that you do have, and enjoy the rest of however long we have to stay home.
I know. You too. Thank you.
And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.